completely, aren't I? Yes, I am. There we go. That's better. Hey. There we go. You can see me now. Hello, and welcome to another TC Reviews. Today we're talking about The Wolfman, the 1941 film with Lon Chaney Jr. Yes, finally I've gotten to it. This is actually a good film. It surprised me after seeing Werewolf in London, which, though the effects are nice in Werewolf in London, it's, you know, it's an okay film. So yeah, let's just get straight into acting, because I don't have much to say about this film, but what I do have to say is, I think, interesting as it is, because I luckily was able to watch the documentary after this. So yeah, so we got Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman, which it's all that he's credited as, the Wolfman, even though he has, of course, his own character name, because he is, of course, his own character. And he's the same character for all the rest of the Wolfman films, as literally Lon Chaney plays the Wolfman in every Wolfman film. And I think that his final one is the there's the Wolfman meets the Abbott and Costello one. Anyway, but I will only talk about the first one today, as I don't have any more of them except for Wolfman meets Frankenstein and She-Wolf of London, which I think has no relation to this film whatsoever. So, yeah, so Lon Chaney, he's great. He's very convincing as the character, and even as the wolf, you can tell that there are some obviously wolf sound effects put in dub afterwards, because he's standing there next to a tree and you hear this howl and he's just standing there. His mouth is open, yes, but, you know, it's obviously not him howling, for obvious reasons. I've got no criticism of his performance whatsoever. It's pretty okay. My only criticism about the actual character himself is that, because this film has a lot more emphasis on science and religion, which is really interesting, because, I don't know, for some reason, I guess it's trying to juxtapose the two in a way. It's very weird. It's the first time they actually go into a bloody church. And then even then, the Lon Chaney's character leaves because everyone thinks he's a murderer and whatever, and he doesn't know if he is or not. And so yeah, so it starts with him arriving at his dad's estate, and his dad has a telescope and an observatory, and so he looks through the telescope and he sees this. I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen here. He's going to see the love interest, isn't he? And he does. He sees her through a bedroom window. Luckily, she is completely dressed and everything. And then he makes his way down to a store and buys a cane. It's very, very interesting. And this is the original use of the cane that has the wolf head on it. Image here, I guess. Which is interesting. So you got, the only other role I have to say is with Bela Lugosi. He plays a character called Bella, who's just a gypsy, who is the original werewolf. Which, when you see him as a werewolf, you don't actually see him as a wolf man. You see him the first shot of him is a dog, when he's of course transformed. He's a dog, looks like a bloodhound, and then when he's attacking the main character to turn him into a werewolf, I feel like it's just like a bear costume or some shit, like just like a stuffed wolf, just like someone just yakking it at the main character. It looks very, not cheesy, but it's confusing in a way, because of course when you see Lon Chaney turn into the Wolfman, he doesn't look like an actual wolf, he looks like a person, with just wolf aspects to it. And then the rest of the cast, they're all fantastic in their roles, especially the woman who plays the gypsy. Directing is directed by George Wagner or Wagner. It's double G, but I don't know if he's German or not. I'm just gonna say Wagner. I've got no criticism of the directing. It seems fine. Yeah, it's all well done. Right, now this is the interesting part. It's a very well written film, but and if you want to compare it to actual, apparently it's not the focal looks presented in the film, which of course is the normal stuff of, you know, anything that's silver can kill the wolf, you know, the cane as a main example, or silver bullets, and then the whole werewolf in the moonlight stuff and whatever, and it has a lot more of what we now consider to be the actual lore with a werewolf, with Lycanism or whatever they call it, which they emphasize on that a lot. It's kind of like a real science of the film, but then there's still also the, you know, stuff with religion and whatever. It's very interesting. So yeah, it just has this analogy between a comparison between religion and science, but then of course this analogy between like man and beast and being the overall lore and identity of the werewolf and what it is everyone knows what a werewolf is. Says the love interest before her best friend before her colleague or some woman that she just knows gets killed. Anyway, apart from that, there is an evident relation. I can't say if you really look into it, but if you watch a documentary, the writer of the film was actually is Jewish, or was. I don't know if he's passed away. But he was actually living during Nazi time in Germany. So he apparently spent 7 years of his life running away from the Nazis. And when he was hired to write the scripts for the Wolfman after the original script was written and scrapped because it was too violent and whatever. Even though it sounds more interesting, to be honest. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff about how he ends up like kind of comparing the Wolfman and the people hunting him to like the Nazis and the Jewish and stuff like that, and it's a very interesting comparison. I mean, it's quite dark when you think about it, as that was a very bad time for the Jewish people, and really for a lot of people. But it was interesting that they just, because obviously they didn't hammer it over your head about this obvious link. But it's there if you're looking for it. And of course the writer even says, it's there. It's definitely there. So that was an interesting kind of spin on the tale when you think about it. What else do we have? Does it hold up? The effects are well done. The music is excellent. Acting is excellent as well. It definitely holds up. Even the sets, like there's nothing that looks really fake about it. The town that they use is the obvious one that they use in pretty much every one of these films, especially the Frankenstein ones. It's literally the same town. Not actually in like the story is the same town, but the Universal backlot, of course, is going to be the same looking town. It is a bit weird, how you have these like kind of British American people. I'm just going to say British because it's really hard to tell if they're American or not, even though it's obviously filmed in America. And then you've got gypsies as well, which were like only in Europe, so it's again like Frankenstein, just a bit weird on where it's set. So obviously, as they said in the documentary, it's on fantasy land, so yeah, that's good enough. But yeah, it definitely holds up. The effects are great. When I first was watching it, I was thinking of with the Werewolf in London. Like, Werewolf in London was of course set in London, and it's very modern in its look and everything. There's nothing really grand or gothic about it. But then when you have this one, they go to crypts, they go to old spooky forests, which always have mists flowing on the ground, which most of that was most likely handcrafted as well, because I don't think you could actually find a forest that looks like that. So yeah, it definitely stands out as good, not as bad. Even the effects of the transformation, they emphasize this through. Because as I was saying before, how the main character doesn't know that he's, doesn't really know if he's a wolf or not. Like, people have told him about the werewolf story and whatever, and he has this cane that of course he bought at the store. And he is attacked by a wolf, and he thinks he's this werewolf, and he tells people he thinks he's this werewolf, and he doesn't think he's actually a killer. But there's no evidence of the people being a wolf or whatever, of course, because Bela Lugosi was the original wolf. And so it kind of shows you this idea when you've got the transformation. It shows only his legs transforming from hairy to extremely hairy and wolf-like and whatever, and the wolf feet and whatever. But it of course as an audience, you pretty much know, yeah, he's the Wolfman. But it's cleverly filmed that it also makes you think, what if he isn't the Wolfman? He might just be like daydreaming or whatever. And of course, that's what all the other characters think. They think he's imagining it, and that like all this folklore and stuff is just getting to his head. Which is an interesting comparison again, because when you look at his tally with science, he's very good at the practical stuff with science, even with making a telescope. But he's not good with the ideology of it. So so that's why they think like, if he's not good with the ideology of science and the ideology of folklore and whatever, it's obviously just messing with his head. So overall feel, it's creepy. It's mysterious again, the mystery being about is he actually this Wolfman or not. Of course you do see him as the Wolfman and everything, and it's only confirmed by the end of the film as to is he actually the Wolfman. Which again has a nice transformation of him going from wolf back to human. And it definitely has a horror feel. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely got a horror feel. I think the original Wolfman, Werewolf in London one as well had this horror feel. Probably more of a horror feel than I think any of them have had. But again, you know, Frankenstein's monster and the mummy have never scared me in films. Like even in modern adaptations, have never actually scared me. But the Wolfman films have. I mean, watch American Werewolf in London. That shit is scary. And also really well done. Still, I might actually watch that. I don't know. I don't want to have nightmares, to be honest with you. Rewatchability. I think after a time it's rewatchable, yes. Like, you know, you can watch it once a decade or something like that. Or, you know, I wouldn't watch it tomorrow because I've already seen it. You know, it's like one of those things. If you see a film, see a film at a cinema, and you're like, yes, that was a good film. I'd watch that again if it was on, you know, TV. If it was just on, you know, it's not exactly one I'd go out of my way to buy. Of course, this being an older film and have been a classic as well, I would go out and buy it. But you know, say if it's modern day time, I'd be waiting for it to come out on TV and whatever. Overall rating of the film, I'd give it 4.5 wolf canes out of 5. Because it's great, it's a good film, but it's just, there's just something not perfect about it, but I think it's just that, I don't really know what's not perfect about it, but I don't know, I like the film, it was great, good, it was very scary, and for the thumbnail, I don't really think that also helps, who really cares? I don't have a Snapchat filter where you can turn yourself into a wolf, and that would be weird, but I mean the beard counts, I don't care. Alright. So yeah, thank you for watching this TC review. Next up we have Ghost of Frankenstein. We're almost done. I promise you that. We've got Ghost of Frankenstein, we've got House of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and She-Wolf of London. Which is the only one I'm actually genuinely curious about. Like, I'm interested to watch the rest of them, but I'm genuinely curious about She-Wolf in London to see if it's a sequel to Werewolf in London. Probably is. Yeah. And then, of course, I've got a lot more of the classic films. Creature from the Black Lagoon to top it off, along with the Phantom of the Opera and Nosferatu and Dropless. And alongside these, I will be watching a lot of the Invaders from Space films. So look forward to them. They may actually be out by this stage. So in the reviews playlist, it'll all be there. That's in the description. So yes, thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe for more. If you have any suggestions of films I should watch and review, then go for it. I'm mainly looking to reviewing older films, stuff that I may have watched as a kid, but have forgotten about, you know, because mostly people my age are watching newer films and whatever, and superhero stuff, and I don't want to watch that. I want to watch monsters who have superpowers and who are really universe kind of connected. Anyway, I will see you in the next review. Adios.